one more topic that I wanted to hit on. One more that I wanted to touch on today. Many of you guys want to talk about sales. Okay? Many of you guys, you've been convinced to go into sales, and I'm going to tell you that you should go into sales. Sales is fantastic. I'm not going to say it's for everybody. You know, you can make a whole bunch of money in other roles. I talk about data analytics. I talk about help desk. I talk about project management. I talk about sales, engineering, and so forth. We just talk about the CISO role where you can make $1 million if you get to that executive position. Ladder climbing. You can make a whole bunch of money. But let's talk about sales now. Let's transition to talk about sales, the position that I'm currently in right now, crushing it, okay? We're going to talk about the role of an SDR and the difference between an SDR and a BDR. And for many of you who don't even know what an SDR is, you should be listening up, okay? You should be listening up. So what is a SDR, right? So you got to think about tech sales in general. An SDR is basically somebody who sits within the sales organization, okay? They report to managers within the sales organization. And it's their responsibility to generate leads and to set meetings for the people who are going to be closing sales deals. At its basic definition, that's what an SDR does. They sit within the sales organization, they generate leads by email, cold calling, text messages, whatever else the company uses, CRM emails. They also set meetings for the account executives and other sales professionals. They're responsible for helping to bring in new deals. They're responsible for helping bring in new deals. Okay? They identify who a potential customer is, or target. They try to get that target on the phone to talk to somebody like an account executive via prospecting, email, or over the phone. And these guys literally are door knockers. They send hundreds or even thousands of emails to people on a day. You think about salespeople who are selling things in the neighborhood, Girl Scout cookies. What do? They knock on your door. They knock on the door and ask you if you want to buy cookies. And that's what SDR does as well too. They basically knock on the doors and ask you what problems can they solve for you. But they do it strategically by doing a lot of research first. Where if you were a person who was selling Girl Scout cookies, you would knock on the door, and just about anybody's door in the neighborhood, unless it was an ugly house and a creepy house that had some crazy dogs in there or something like that. But in general, that's the role of an SDR, guys. And to be successful in that role, you must understand the product. You have to be able to solve problems. You have to have persistence. You are the top of the sales funnel that exists today. So that's the role of an SDR. Okay? That's the role of an SDR. What do they do on a typical day? They check the calendar for appointments. They check emails to see if anybody responded back to them after they sent dozens of them on a day. They check the voicemails. They attend startup or weekly meetings or team meetings. They check the social media, LinkedIn, and so forth. Now, let's talk about the role of an account executive, because many of you guys want to level up to the role of an account executive. Many of you want to level up to the role of an account executive. An account executive, their role primary is to support the organization's clients. How do you support the organization's clients? Getting them to purchase something from the company. How do you support the organization's clients? Getting them to purchase something from the company. They are the frontline sales rep. They are responsible for closing deals. That's been qualified by the SDRs. They're one of the first people to actually talk to the customer after an SDR books a meeting. They are the face of the company a lot of the times. They are responsible for building relationships, identifying opportunities into accounts. They're responsible for upselling accounts, cross-selling accounts. You're probably like, Anton, what does upsell and cross-sell mean? Well, I'll tell you. Upsell is an existing customer. They have a solution. You want to sell them more users. That's an upsell. Cross-sell. Existing customer, have another division in China. You want to sell to that division. That's a cross-sell. They handle contract renewals. So if a customer has a 3-year subscription or a 3-month subscription, based on that contract, there may be a renewal term. They may be coming up on their last year. You want that customer to stay a customer because you want the revenue. So you handle renewals as well. You handle renewals as well. Account executives typically finalize the actual sale. They could be responsible for identifying new clients and prospects. They may get involved in deals after they've been closed, but typically they are the ones that are closing business of new customers. They are the closers, guys. They are the hunters. They are the closers. They are the hunters. What are the main tasks that they do on a day-to-day basis? They manage their pipeline, identify potential targets and accounts, online and offline, online by doing searches, looking through forums and looking at companies' news. They network outside by going to events like Gartner, Salesforce events, industry events. They create presentations for their clients to talk about the solutions that they have and what problems that they solve. They build and nurture client relationships. Most importantly, they hit their damn sales targets. They hit their sales targets. They are an escalation point where a client is having an issue. So if I sell a client something and it goes over to the customer success team and the implementation is off, I'm an escalation point. I want that customer to be happy. They help resolve client issues before they crop up. They look for opportunities to upsell, cross-sell. They handle negotiations through renewals. They look at data analysis to help the customer understand where industry trends are going and how to stay up on the industry trends with products and solutions. They do a lot. They do a lot. So that's the difference between an account executive and an SDR. An SDR is entry level. An account executive is leveling up. It's leveling up. Now, you're probably asking, okay, well, Antoine, what's next? Well, if you are an SDR, you want to go into another role, and let's just say you don't want it to be an account executive. You can also choose that of an account manager. And the difference between an account executive and account manager is this. A lot of times in companies, it's not as straightforward, but how I would look at it on its surface level, the roles are very similar. They both work directly with clients. They both are about building strong relationships. However, there is a difference in the end goal. Now, the goal is, one, revenue, delivering more revenue for the business. That's, you know what, I would say that's both of their goals. That's both of their goals. But account executives, they get much more involved earlier in the process than account managers. So account executives are the ones that are closing typically new accounts, hunting. And account managers are there after the account has already been closed, and then you're responsible for nurturing that account and growing it. Cross sells, upsells, and so forth. So the difference really is account executives, new business for the most part, hunters. Account managers, existing but growing. A lot of times in organizations, in tech sales organizations, the account executive will close that business and wipe their hands. Then it will go to account manager. An account manager will take it from there. So the difference between an account executive and account manager is this. Account managers typically don't get involved until the sale's been closed. Okay? I wanted to make sure I share that with you because many of you are very interested in the sales. If you want to get into sales, you want to start at its base foundation level, check out none other than Course Careers. Link in the description of this video. Many people have taken the course and found it very, very valuable. It is a very, very valuable course to give you the basic education on tech sales, and it will allow for you to get into tech sales with or without a degree. And a starting salary for somebody to get into tech sales at an SDR, BDR role is about $55,000. That's a good amount of money, especially if you're coming out of school, especially if you're looking to make a career transition. And the on-target earnings is over $70,000, guys. Once you do that for a year, year and a half, you can graduate to the account executive role, where you can be making $150,000 as a base salary and an on-time or on-target earnings of another $150,000, putting you at $300,000. I talked to a good brother of mine, my brother Kenneth, doing some wonderful things. And he's getting into sales. He's already making high hundreds. He gets into sales, he's going to be making 500. He's going to do it. I won't be surprised if I got a call mid-September that he got in. If you guys want to get into tech sales and you're looking to break in, check out Course Careers. Check out Course Careers.